Today, we will be deboning a whole chicken. All you need is a knife, cutting board, and chicken.
Fantastic. And again, our friends are with us. They're joining us for the demonstration where we will cut the chicken into a number of pieces just to show you how versatile chicken can be. Okay, so let's start. We always do the same thing. I normally nick it here just between the bone. The knife should always be sharp, which is very important. And also you need to know where the little joints are. And you slice straight through them. So those are our little winglet tips, and I'll show you something with that just now. And this is for you, oh Johnny. We're going to then cut it down here, removing the leg and the thigh. There's a little bone that you snap and you run the knife straight through it. So it will look like that. We turn the bird around and we do exactly the same again. All the way through, snap the leg joint and then run the knife all the way through there. So let me just quickly show you on this part. We have what some people call a gun. We take the drumstick and we slice straight through there, and then we've got a little thigh. Same with this one. We'll do exactly the same again. Thigh and bone. Cutlet, or sorry gosh, drumstick. Lost my mind there. Alright, so just to show you some points of interest, if you want to, you can take the little knuckle off here, and this part we call a French trim. So the French trim itself will be where we remove the little joint here at the top, the knuckle joint, and we work the knife all around there once we've made the incision with the knife, and we just remove that. Such a cool move. And we then basically pull that knuckle off like such. Alright, so we're going to trim this up nicely. So we just pull the skin down, and we're just going to basically just give it a nice little finish, taking those little pieces still off there, and that then becomes a clean little what we call French trim. So that there is known as a French trim. Okay, we're going to pop that there. What you can also do is you can take the bone out of your thigh if you want to. You're getting some nice shots there, Jenna.
Yes.
And we're just going to remove the bone here, and this is a great way of cooking thigh, either on a kebab, so you keep all that lovely moisture because the leg meat is delicious, slightly darker in color to the rest of the breast and so on, and also loads of flavor in there. We'll just remove that all off. The bones we will keep because we're going to use it for a stock. So this is quite nice to either cut into smaller pieces, put on a skewer, or even use them as beautiful pieces for like a nice coq au vin or a nice roast chicken. Keeps all that moisture in there. Right, so there's our couple of cuts where we've done something with each of them. And we'll do all of those guys, and we'll keep our bones on the end, so we'll use it for that a nice stock. I'll show you something. Let me show you now quickly. So what we can do is just take off the winglet, and we can turn this into what we like to call lollipops. So the lollipops would be where we remove the one bone out of here. There's two little bones in there. Oh, this one's a bit broken, so let's remove that anyway. And this piece takes a little bit more technicality in the sense of precision, so that we remove one of those bones and keep the other one. And this is what we're going to then, at the end of it, call a lollipop. Okay. Pity about this nice bigger bone here, because that's the one that seems to be broken. So, but we'll work with the other one for the time being, since we've started. And we'll just get all that out of the way, left with that. And then we're going to use this little bone here, and then basically pull it all the way down, and kind of make that little ball at the bottom. I'll get some plastic wrap now because it's nice to wrap it in there. I'm going to run it through, and what we do is we basically take all of this over, pull that through, and we tuck that in, and that is like a little, I call this a little mini chicken shank, or a lollipop's quite a popular name for it. And it would look like something like that. Do you want to zoom in a little bit there for me? Look how beautiful that is. Huh? It's pretty, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, so that's what we can do. So you've got a part there with everything that's doing different. Over here, we've got, this is what we call the crown of chicken. So it sits here with the two breasts on top of the bone. We then take the knife in here. Oops, there's a little bit of goodies in there.
Yeah.
Packaging. And we then run the knife all the way through that breastplate at the bottom. And then from there we got the bird that's positioned nicely. So this is fantastic for roasts because we then sear this piece over here in a pan, and then from there we pop this into the oven. Then we would cook this for about 10 to 12 minutes maximum, or even 8 minutes for that matter. And then we would then have it still semi-raw in the bottom. And the cool part about that is when you take it off the bone, which I'll show you, you'll have a lovely moist piece which you can finish off in the oven just for a short time. In this case, I'm actually just going to debone it so that we've got chicken breasts. So as a roast, that's the best way to do it. It might seem like a lot of hard work, but really it's absolutely well worth the whole situation. And we're just going to remove the whole breast off the bone. We want to keep this little piece on here, this little bone. We'll do the same with this side. Let's quickly just take him off quickly as well. And what we want to do is got a special boning knife. That's what a boning knife looks like. Okay. And we're just going to run this all the way here, down, and across here. And we'll remove that whole breast off nicely. And I'm going to show you what we did with the drumstick just now. We're going to do the same with the little joint over here. So whenever you leave the joint on the chicken breast, for instance, like this, so there's our 2 chicken breasts, okay, and then what you can do is you just remove this piece all around the top here. So this is still the little bone joint here, and when you leave the bone joint on, we actually have a fancy name for it, and it's called a supreme of chicken. And we're just going to remove this, and so what all it does is make it look pretty. So they say that when you serve food on a plate, for instance, if you serve food on a plate, you should never serve bone on. The reason for that is you can't eat it, and if you can't eat it, you shouldn't put it on the plate. However, if you make it look pretty and you clean the bone off and you make a lot of effort, then it's kind of acceptable that you can actually leave the bone on. So again, we're just taking this little knuckle joint off here, and I like to square it off. Just a little bit there, okay, and that all goes into, so this pile over here with chicken pieces, that will be great for like a little soup or a nice stock or broth, or something like that. All right, so over here, we've got our chicken supreme. You see how pretty that bone structure is on there now? And that's what we're looking for. So then we are allowed to leave it on the actual bird. All right, so that's pretty much us in a nutshell on this side of things, and you can look out for our next video as we're now working towards something for the kiddies again, and we look forward to you joining us. Thanks, Jenna.